Today we are talking about the first PDW that you unlock in Phantom Forces at rank 0, the MP5K. So today I'm going to show you the best setup for it, but before we get into that, please consider dropping a like and a sub. It does help me out a ton. Anyways, the MP5K, like I said, is unlocked at rank 0. It is a very, very good PDW. It has a high fire rate, a fast time to kill, and a lot of different variations of attachments that you can use, which I can always appreciate with a gun. So anyways, the setup is going to be your optic of choice, compensator, stubby grip, MP5K stock, and 10mm auto. But there's actually a lot of different details that are important with the MP5K when it comes to all the attachments, so I'm going to try to get into everything today. So the compensator is just for recoil, of course. You can also use a T-brake, but I think with 10mm a compensator is a little better. If you want a suppressor, then the default or the Osprey are good options, although I wouldn't really recommend the Osprey because just personally I don't like how you kind of lose a bit of handling. So if you want a suppressor, I would do the default, but really I would just do the compensator. And if you have the long barrel, then you can use it, but the long barrel really shines the most when you use the burst grouping, which actually, I'll talk about that later. But for now, we're going to go with the compensator and leave it at that. Now, for the default ammo, you're going to want to use a vertical or an angled grip, one of the first two, but with 10mm, the stubby is going to be the best option. Now, moving on to the interesting part, the MP5K stock versus the burst grouping. Now, I do not have or plan to use the burst grouping just because I'm not a huge fan of burst weapons, but actually I take that back. I might plan to use this because this makes the MP5K very, very good. And if you use burst grouping with the 10mm ammo, then you get a 2-shot to the torso in CQC, which is very, very good considering you have a 925 RPM burst. But if you are like me and you don't like burst weapons, then the MP5K stock is going to be better just for accuracy and stuff. And now the most important attachment, probably the 10mm auto. I did pre-buy this because it is 2,000 kills and I wasn't trying to grind that out, but the default is also good, although the 10mm auto is kind of just what makes the MP5K shine, and in my opinion it's not really worth using unless you have 10mm auto. 10mm auto by itself is very, very good, a super strong CQC gun, but if you can learn to use burst grouping, or if you're just good with burst weapons, then these two attachments are going to make this gun incredibly good, one of the best CQC guns in the game. But for me, I would rather use the MP5K stock and have a fully automatic gun, but obviously to each their own. So anyways, like I said, the MP5K is just very strong, unlocked very early. It has a great time to kill and pretty low recoil, although it does struggle when it comes to range and velocity. One thing I didn't mention is that the velocity on this gun, with all the attachments that I just said, is 900 studs a second. 900 is very slow. So, in CQC, you won't notice it, obviously, but on longer range maps, just really from mid to long range, you're going to notice it, and it's not going to be good. So, all I'm trying to say is that this is one of those guns that is very good in CQC, but is horrendous at range. And there's some guns that are good, really good in CQC, but also decent at mid-range or long range, or at least usable. But this gun is not really one of those guns, and at long range, it's not going to do much for you. With 10mm auto, it does get a little better because you can still 5-tap all ranges, but when your velocity is 900 studs a second, you're not really going to be getting 5 shots in from range. And if you are, it's because somebody is like standing still or literally walking into your bullets, because even if you're aiming right at them from long range, you probably aren't gonna hit every shot. But it makes up for it because it is super good in CQC. Have I said that yet? Yes, I have. That is the joke. But anyways, the MP5K is a gun that I do not see being used very often, which is a shame because it's very good and it's unlocked very early, and I would say it is fairly easy to use because it's kind of just spammy, but it does run out of ammo very fast, so you will be reloading a lot, and it doesn't have a ton of reserve for how fast it fires, so I have found myself running out of ammo at sometimes, but just go find somebody else that had a PDW and pick their ammo up. You'll be fine. So it's not a perfect gun. No gun is, except for maybe the AUG 2, but the MP5K with the right attachments with 10mm auto comes pretty close. Anyways, that is all I have to say about the MP5K. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider dropping a like and a sub, and till next time.